What's the strategy for Stock Advisor Canada?
I think underlying all the Fool services is the long-term investing strategy. We're very happy to hold these companies forever. That's the intent when they go into the service. We do not want to sell them. We want them to compound and grow and produce massive returns. Now that doesn't always work out, obviously, but when it does, it really that's what carries the service's performance. So it's just critical that members understand that we are at least 3 to 5 years. We want them to hold these recommendations and ideally just leave them alone and do nothing with them. So we do provide updates when we deem it necessary, but not every news release warrants a comment or a thought. They kind of are what they are. So we do like to take somewhat of a hands-off approach. Again, we want people to ignore them and let these companies do their thing. So long-term philosophy underlying, I mean, we spend a lot of time on company fundamentals, obviously, and I would say our Canadian services focus more on, and just because it's the nature of the team that we have, focus more on valuation than some of our U.S. services. U.S. services are, I would say, a lot more growth-oriented, and that can work, and it's had its bumpy times as well. I think back to the pandemic, so many kind of airy companies were running crazy. A lot of them have crashed, and unfortunately, a reasonable number of those were sort of in some of our U.S. services. So we do pay attention to valuation. I would say over the course of my career, that's one thing that certainly has evolved. I used to be a kind of a stickler or trained in the value investing philosophy, and I think I've loosened that somewhat, especially when it comes to sell decisions. Selling stocks when they get expensive, I've found can be the most expensive decision one can make. Unfortunately, I clung to a valuation model on Tesla and Nvidia and sold them way too soon. So yeah, that's definitely something that's evolved with the philosophy that we have. But yeah, long-term, fundamental oriented. Pay attention to valuation, but don't cling to it.